Order. Question number 8, Richard Prosser.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Primary Industries. Does he stand by all his statements in relation to the Nutrient Management Tool Overseer?
Honourable Nathan Guy.
Mr Speaker, yes.
Supplementary question, Richard Prosser.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister. Since the Minister stated last week that the Overseer experience of New Zealand's largest fertiliser cooperative, Ravensdown, is anecdotal, is that also how he would describe the concerns of hundreds of dryland farmers in the Hurunui-Waiau Zone Committee who met in September regarding stringent nutrient management limits which have been determined using Overseer?
Honourable Nathan Guy.
Mr Speaker, no. What I will say is that the member needs to be aware of the Chief Scientific Officer, Ant Roberts, who works at Ravensdown, where he said some compromises and assumptions are needed to be made in running any model like Overseer on complex farm systems.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Richard Prosser.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister. Even accepting a recent apology, does the Minister condone Environment Canterbury Commissioner David Bedford for using expletives towards farmers after they questioned nutrient limits based on Overseer, or are reports of such abuse also anecdotal?
Honourable Nathan Guy.
Well, Mr Speaker, I don't have any ministerial responsibility for those comments. What I will say is that Overseer has been around for 20 years. It's evolving. It's improving all the time. It's an important nutrient management tool, and we have got regional councils involved working with MPI to ensure that we're focused on the national guidelines and how this Overseer is managing nutrients going forward.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Richard Prosser.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Given that respected soil scientist Dr Doug Edmeades has summarised that Type A errors in Overseer could be in the range of -40% to +60%, and Type B errors in the plus or minus 30% range, will the Minister assure farmers that he will ensure budget funding to fully and properly calibrate Overseer?
Honourable Nathan Guy.
Mr Speaker, there's about $1.6 million invested in Overseer at the moment. The 3 owners are involved. That's Fertiliser Association of New Zealand, MPI and AgResearch making contributions in kind. They are currently looking at the funding model going forward, and there are a variety of funding options available as demand picks up.
Point of order.
Point of order, Richard Prosser.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I seek leave to table 2 documents. The first is a 2013 evidence of Dr Doug Edmeades at the hearing of submissions on the proposed Canterbury Land and Water Regional Forum.
And the second document?
The other is the 2013 Foundation for Arable Research peer review of Overseer in relation to modelling nutrient flows in arable crops.
Order. Order. It's for the House to decide on the basis. They're not easy for members to obtain. I'll put the leave and members can decide. Leave us sought to table those 2 documents. Is there any objection? There is none. They can be tabled. Question number 9, Kelvin Davis.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister of Corrections, does